I have, as you're finding Colossians 3, lived in Chicago a couple of times, and I can tell you, especially when I lived in the city and in proximity to people who are from Chicago on the north side who are Cubs fans. Cubs fans are crazy, I believe. And they, especially before, I was living there before they won the World Series, and they were still, it was still a distant dream to win the World Series when I lived there for them. But if you talk to a Cubs fan, at any given point during the season, the Cubs were going to get to the series. It didn't matter. You could have been almost at the end of the season. They're at the bottom of the ranking, and they are going to make it to the series, they believe. They had this fervent hope because they're diehards when it comes to being fans. Stephanie, my wife, and I lived in Vancouver many years ago, and we were there for a couple years. We were there during a hockey strike, which was not a lot of fun to be there at that time. People were kind of grumpy for that whole season. But then the next season, when hockey came back, you'd walk around and people are like coming out of the sides of the taverns just anywhere they can be to watch these games because they were so excited. They were diehards. Of course, we live in a state where we kind of like a football team quite a lot, don't we? Yesterday was hard, but we kind of like a football team quite a lot. And I will tell you, we're diehards. Now, I think the pre-Scott Frost period, we maybe got to our low point, but we're still diehards. But here's the thing. Fans can be really into the game. I mean, super into the game. Diehards into the game. But at no point does a fan become a coach or a referee or umpire. They're still a fan. On the outside, watching the game, excited about the game, but not actually in the game. But when we look at Colossians 3, 1 through 17, and I'll just point out, this is one of my favorite passages of Scripture. So if you're, by the way, online viewers, as you're watching from home, pop in the comments, what's your favorite passage of Scripture? You might bless somebody else today as you say that. This is one of my favorites. And in Colossians 3, Paul is talking about setting your mind and your heart on things above where Christ is because he's already won the victory. He's already won the victory over sin, death, and the devil. And Paul's telling us to cast off the secular, he's telling us to cast off the sinful, and he's telling us to cast off any distractions that would take us away from being transformed into the image of Christ. That's what he's telling us in this passage.